Long, long ago, during the Qin dynasty, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, in order to defend against the invasion of the northern Xiongnu, ordered the conscription of a vast amount of labor to build the Great Wall. This project was enormous and arduous, and countless people were forcibly enlisted, leaving their homes and toiling day and night in the desolate wilderness. In the state of Yan, around present-day Hebei, lived a loving newlywed couple. The husband was named Wan Shiliang, some versions say Fan Shiliang. They had just married and were immersed in a life of happiness and sweetness. However, this blissful time did not last long. The government's conscription order reached Wan Shiliang's village. Wan Shiliang was forcibly drafted into the army, and along with other young men, he was forced to leave his warm home, bidding farewell to his newlywed wife, Meng, and heading to the distant north to build the Great Wall. Meng stayed at home, missing her distant husband day and night, worried about his safety. The Great Wall was located in a remote area with harsh weather and extremely difficult construction conditions. Many laborers fell ill and even died due to overwork, hunger, and cold. With no news from her husband, Meng was filled with anxiety and unease. Years passed, and winter arrived. The weather grew increasingly cold. Meng worried that her husband in the distance did not have warm clothes, so she made up her mind to personally sew cotton-padded clothes for him and deliver them to the Great Wall. Regardless of the long journey, the high mountains, and dangerous waters, she set off on the arduous journey to find her husband, carrying the clothes she had sewn with her own hands. Meng traveled over mountains and rivers, eating in the wind and sleeping in the dew, enduring countless hardships. Finally, she arrived at the foot of the Great Wall. She inquired about her husband Wan Shiliang from the laborers building the wall, but the answers she received were all blank stares. Many said that they had never seen him since being conscripted. Meng was frantic. She searched along one section of the Great Wall after another, calling out her husband's name, but there was no response. She felt increasingly desperate, her heart filled with sorrow and a premonition of misfortune. Finally, a kind-hearted fellow villager told Meng that many laborers had died due to overwork and the harsh environment and had been buried beneath the Great Wall. Upon hearing this devastating news, Meng was struck like lightning, overcome with grief. She could not believe that her young and strong husband had passed away just like that. She came to the edge of the Great Wall, facing the endless, massive ramparts. She remembered the sweet memories with her husband and the scene of him being forced to leave. The sorrow in her heart could no longer be contained. She knelt down at the foot of the Great Wall and wept loudly. Meng cries were full of sorrow and desolation. Her grief moved heaven and earth. It is said that her weeping lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, so deeply touching that even the heavens were moved by her true love. Just as Meng was wailing in grief, a miracle occurred. The section of the Great Wall where she was crying suddenly collapsed with a thunderous roar, revealing countless white bones. Meng sorrowfully searched through the pile of bones for her husband's remains, but among the vast number of bones, how could she distinguish his? It is said that Meng prayed to heaven, hoping to find her husband's bones. She vowed that she would recognize his bones no matter what. Then, she bit her finger and dripped her blood onto each of the white bones. She believed that if any of the bones absorbed her blood, those would be her husband's. Finally, among a pile of bones, one skeleton absorbed Meng blood. Meng recognized these as the remains of her beloved husband, Wan Shiliang, whom she had missed day and night. She held her husband's bones and wept again, uncontrollably. When Emperor Qin Shi Huang learned of this, he was furious. He believed that Meng crying had angered the heavens, causing the collapse of the Great Wall. He ordered that Meng be arrested, intending to punish her. However, when Emperor Qin Shi Huang saw Meng he was struck by her beauty and her unwavering loyalty. He wanted to take Meng as his concubine. But Meng heart belonged only to her deceased husband. She remained unyielding and resolutely refused Emperor Qin Shi Huang's demands. Meng presented Emperor Qin Shi Huang with 3 conditions. First, a grand funeral must be held for Wan Shiliang. Second, all the laborers who built the Great Wall must wear mourning for Wan Shiliang. And third, Emperor Qin Shi Huang himself must build a tomb and erect a monument for Wan Shiliang. Although Emperor Qin Shi Huang was displeased, he was also intimidated by Meng Jiangnu's strong will and ultimately agreed to her demands. After the funeral for Wan Shiliang was held, Meng Jiangnu leaped into the sea, sacrificing her life for her husband, expressing her unwavering devotion to their love. This story has been passed down to this day, expressing the people's hatred for the tyrannical rule of the Qing dynasty, their condemnation of the forced labor of building the Great Wall, and their praise for the loyal love between Meng Jiangnu and Wan Shiliang. The legend of Meng Jiangnu's weeping causing the Great Wall to collapse has become a deeply moving chapter in Chinese folk literature.